It's episode 4 of SMS Ages, and what's this? A seemingly original game for the system? It must be some sort of sorcery. Pit-Pot, or the Magical Castle Pit-Pot, per its fully anglicised Japanese title, was released in December of 1985 in Japan as a Sega card. It never received a standalone release in the West, instead being released as part of Astro Warrior Pit-Pot Combo Cart. We'll cover Astro Warrior when we get to December of 1986, but for now it's time to enter an enchanted castle. The story of Pit-Pot is a typical trap princess tale. The evil sorcerer has kidnapped Princess Romy and trapped her in the magical Pit-Pot castle. Many would-be heroes have attempted to rescue the princess, but none have prevailed. It's now up to Eigil the Knight to save the day with the help of the sorcerer's magical hammer. For some reason, the sorcerer seems to spend his days flying over the castle, which rather conveniently leads him to drop the hammer that you need right in front of the entrance to the castle. Bit of a coincidence, but however. So the story, it might not be an epic, but it's certainly the most elaborate we've seen on the Master System to date. Amusingly, the manual doesn't seem to know the true identity of the hero, calling him both Eigil and Pit-Pot, where Pit-Pot is actually the name of the castle. As already mentioned, Pit-Pot is the first release of the system not based on an arcade game or a real-life sport. It's all the better for it too, as it offers a surprisingly deep experience without the constraints of having to downport a greater experience, or an experience from a bigger, more capable system onto the Master System hardware. In order to rescue the princess, you have to find 3 special treasures: the sacred water, the magic cross, and a ring. Once you've located all 3 treasures, you have to find the princess within the castle, and rather bizarrely, if you approach her without all 3 treasures, it will result in an immediate game over. Back then, games did not mess around. I'm surprised Sega didn't come around and break your legs if you couldn't complete Sonic with all the emeralds. Anyway, the gameplay in Pit-Pot revolves around you exploring a flip-screen maze, avoiding enemies and collecting treasures. You can track enemies with your hammer, which causes them to temporarily disappear, but the hammer's real use is to break the grey floor tiles. Some treasures are hidden and will only appear when you break the tiles, either when you hit them individually, or if you break a group by hitting all of the supporting tiles around a group. Any enemy on a removed tile will instantly disappear, but the same is true for the player, so you have to be careful that you don't inadvertently trap yourself while you're breaking blocks. Conceptually, Pit-Pot shares a lot of the same DNA as games like Lode Runner and Dig Dug 2, but it is actually its own thing, and it's certainly the most cerebral experience on the system. Like most early Master System titles, Pit-Pot offers a 2-player mode, but this is just your typical alternating high score challenge. The more intriguing mode is Edit Mode. This lets you create a new room layout, which will replace the opening room of the castle. Unfortunately, it's a very limited feature, and you cannot save your creation to the Sega card. After all, there essentially is no memory backup on it, which is probably why this feature was removed from the Western release. I guess it's no great loss, but it would have been quite cool if you could have created a whole series of rooms and linked your own kind of castle together. This would have created, a pseudo quest. I suppose it was nice to have something to allow you kind of to expand upon the basics of the game. Pit-Pot may not stand out at first glance, what with its primitive graphics and run-of-the-mill plot, but it's actually an engaging game once you understand the underlying mechanics. The only real downside to the game is that there is relatively little replay value once you complete all 4 castles. So Pit-Pot is really a poster child for what I view this series as being all about. It gives me a chance to go back through my Master System games, learn about their place in history, and hopefully uncover some previously ignored gems. And I think really that's the best way to describe Pit-Pot, as a little bit of a a hidden gem. Oh, and one final little piece of trivia. Pitpot is one of only two titles, the other being Hang On, to feature a special error message when plugged into an SG-1000 system. I think that just goes to show how early Pitpot must have entered development as a Master System title.
Thanks for watching SMS Ages. If you like this episode, then why not try some of the other episodes or other content on the channel, and perhaps like, subscribe and share to help spread the word.
Next time on SMS Ages, we learn about the 7th most popular sport, apparently.